Content creation today revolves around a couple different things. One being the microphone, and two being your camera. One of them probably is going to be your cell phone, something you're using for vertical content, or even your webcam for your stream or for your content. Or you're using something like a webcam or even a professional or maybe an upgraded version of a camera, I guess you'd say, something like a mirrorless or a DSLR camera. And some people will consider, well, how do I connect this to my computer to use it on stream? Well, there are capture cards on the market, and today specifically, we are talking about one that AVerMedia just released. To do that, AVerMedia released this today, the CamStream 4K. And when I say today, it is today. And one of the best things about having something like this CamStream 4K and this capture card is this is actually the sample unit they sent me when we were testing it out before they released it. It's small, it's light, and it has a 1/4-20 thread on it, which means you can attach it to your camera to get clutter off of the space if you're out and about and shooting, or if it's on a rig or something like that. This is something that can be and live in your setup consistently. Let's unbox it. Let me show it to you, and let's talk about some cool things. Not only all the specs, by the way, 4K 60 capture, 4K 60 HDR input, really cool stuff. Let me unbox it, show you what comes in the box, and then we'll get into all of that. Now, just so that you know, AVerMedia did send this product out to me for free, and this video is sponsored by AVerMedia. So yes, they are paying me to tell you about the CamStream 4K. However, this isn't me going to change anything about how I'm going to tell you about the product and my thoughts and opinions and what you should consider doing when you use something like this. So once again, here is the CamStream 4K. It comes with some plastic pieces that just hold this together like stickers, but I went ahead and pulled them off to make this unboxing process just a little bit easier. And here you can see it's just AVerMedia branding. This comes in both white and black. They sent over the black version for me. And so we'll just go ahead and take a look at this. Your best friend for seamless and reliable live streaming. They went ahead and listed a bunch of the products they have in here. And then honestly, there's so much that's really cool that AVerMedia has done, like this charging brick and stuff like this, that's a capture card built into it. So you could check out some of these other reviews I've done for them. Really interesting stuff. But here it is. This is the AVerMedia CamStream 4K. And it's just like other CamLink capture card things on the market, which is really cool. Basically, it takes HDMI in on one end. This is HDMI 2.0, by the way, and then it spits it out USB-C so that you can connect it to your computer or maybe even to your tablet to be able to use in something like the Camo program that we talked about in the previous video. But what I really love is the 1/4-20 thread that they've included on this. This is actually a recommendation I made a couple TwitchCons ago when we were at a thing, and it was really cool that they've included that into such a small package because it can attach to your camera and be an on-the-go device. Really neat, really excited about that. The other piece is the actual cable that they sent. It is USB-A on one end to USB-C. There is no adapter. I wish they would have included an adapter in here, but they do have USB-C on this end to be able to connect to the device, and then USB-A. Again, a lot of computers and laptops and things have an A, and most people even have an adapter. It would have been nice to see one in here, but it's not there. One of the other things that's not in the box is an HDMI cable. That would have been nice to include, but I also understand because they would have had to have included 2 or even 3 because you don't know what HDMI your camera supports. And to test this today, we're using this, the Sony A6700 with a Sony 11mm f1.8 for those of you camera nerds. And on this camera specifically, it does not use full-size HDMI like I've mentioned. And as you can see right here, if I can get it to focus in, it is micro HDMI. And that's probably why AVerMedia chose to not include the cable in the box, because depending on what you're looking at, as you can see, you can use full HDMI or micro HDMI on this end. For this camera, I have to use a cable like this. So down in the description, I'll leave some links to cables like the one that you see here, a micro HDMI. So if you do pick one up from AVerMedia, by the way, you can get it, if you want to pick up the CamStream, you can get it cheaper with the discount code and all that down in the description as well, whatever the case, but you probably want to pick up a cable as well. That being said, we'll take this cable and we'll plug it into the A6700, and then on the CamStream 4K, which is upside down, either way, we'll just go ahead and plug it in. And then on the other end, we plug in the USB connection. And on this camera, I've also put in a cold shoe adapter up here at the top so that I can attach this to the top of this camera by doing this. And again, this is one of those things that I just have sitting around here, but it's kind of endless. You could put one of those friction arms and attach it to something if you've got kind of a kit that has a whole bunch of quarter 20 thread mounts on it, you could totally attach it to that. But this is how I'm going to choose to attach it today so that we can be able to kind of see what it looks like. So up there on top, you can see it's just attached. I even have quarter 20s at the bottom if I wanted to hang it off the bottom, whatever the case. I just love that they've included that. And so what we can do is this end for the HDMI, I can just plug into here. So I went ahead and spun the capture card around just so I can go ahead and plug it in on the back side. And then there it goes. And again, there's so much of this cable, you could probably get like a really short cable if you were going to cold shoe mount it. And yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect this by USB-C, put it into the computer, and then we're gonna see what it looks like and talk about the specs while looking at the quality. So here it is, the CamStream 4K. I'll show you the full screen here in just a second, but I wanna show you it was so easy. All I did was plug this in, no drivers or anything, and you can just choose CamStream 4K and it will match everything that was on the actual camera. Now this is 4K 60 10-bit external going over this HDMI capture card and into my computer to receive this. And this is the A6700 with the Sony 11mm f1.8 being able to achieve the look that you currently see. And what's really neat about this is if I wanted to adjust some things, I could, but I mean, look at this. Sure, the white balance might be a little off because I'm not going to take the time to just fully gray card it right now, but this is, again, 4K 60. I'm recording directly to OBS on my computer, and if I was using something like this to be able to do it on my stream or whatever, it'd be great. And some people use their phone and they're like, I have my phone, it's great. But if you're doing long streams, or if you want to have this higher quality and not have webcam quality, you're going to have a capture card for your camera. And some people might also say, like this camera, the Sony A6700, and even the FX30 that is my main camera, it does have USB-C out so that you can do just USB direct into it. That being said, you don't get like the full 10-bit, all of that information that's going to cross over USB. So there is benefits to going HDMI instead of going USB, and even some devices lock you at 1080p, and this gives you the option for having 4K, being able to go over the capture card as well. Now I'm going to put all the technical specs on the screen to show you what resolutions capture at what compression levels, like MJPEG and P010 and things like that, but you do need to know that at 1080p you can still input 4K and capture on the device at 1080p for RGB, which is amazing, but you can still get MJPEG 4K 60, which is what you're looking at right now on this video recording that I'm doing for this. This is going in at 4K 60 10-bit and popping up as MJPEG at 4K 60, which is so cool. This is the quality that you would see depending on what your lighting and all that other stuff is that you use to be able to compose your shot. That's what's really cool with this. And the truth is, I've been on this project for a bit. They actually sent me one of the early samples to be able to go ahead and test it and give them some feedback. And a lot of the things that they did was talking about some software stuff. So yes, can you change some things in their software? Totally. I think there's a couple of different modes that you can select between when that comes to scaling from the device, if it wants to auto scale or if you want to lock it to a specific type of scaling. But the best part about it is it's talking about how to make sure that it mounts to your camera, and so that it can be something that lives permanently in your on-the-go rig if you're being able to shoot on site, or if it's something that if you want to get it up and off the table as a capture card and be able to attach it to the camera and let it be on the go with your setup. I think that's what's really neat with this. And one of the reasons that I love that they sent it to me ahead of time to kind of test it and see if I liked it was it really made me feel like they're listening to the creators and the people who are going to be using tools like this. Because I have, as you can see right up here, there's a ZVE10 Mark II, the FX30, here's an A6700, and a multitude of other things that I work with on a regular basis. And it's nice that they wanted me to go ahead and see what it would look like and what flaws I would see and all of the things, which is so neat that they're listening to the creator. So when it comes to a 4K 60 capture card that can mount to your rig, make it easy, support all of that, and have RGB capture, I do think that CamStream 4K supports some great quality. Again, as you see, I mean, this is the A6700 and it looks fantastic. This is MJPEG. This is like the worst compression that you can get when it has like how much it's going to compress the signal coming into the computer. And it still looks great. So if you're curious about picking it up, check the links down in the description. I leave a bunch of things. There's Amazon links as well as links directly to their website. All the information that you're going to want to know is there. If you want to pick it up, great. It supports the channel. If not, I'll thank you for watching this review. Check out one of these two videos. I'm sure you're going to find something great in them as well. Thank you to AVerMedia for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you next time. Y'all have a great day.